Revord, and this is Kitchen Table Productions, a show all about living well with low carb. Well, summer's coming up again, and summer means summertime cookouts. Hamburgers, hot dogs, barbecue chicken. Now, the meats themselves are not really a problem at all. It's the extra add-ons, that ketchup for the hamburger, the bun for the hot dog, the barbecue sauce itself. These are wonderful things. We love them, but they're full of extra carbs that we don't need. Well, I'm going to share with you some of my tips and tricks and a couple of recipes to help you survive the cookout season. Okay, I'm going to start here with one 6-ounce can of tomato paste. I'm going to scoop that right into my pot. Because the first thing I'm going to teach you how to make is some wonderful ketchup. Good for hamburgers, hot dogs, meatloaf. Just about anything you'd want to add ketchup on. Now I've just taken that same can and I filled it up with water. I'm going to put a little bit into my pot. So then I'm going to take 1 tablespoon of granulated Splenda and I'm just going to put it in the water. All that water will help it dissolve very quickly. Much more so than if you tried to dissolve it into the tomato paste. There it goes. Alright, now I'm just going to mix this water, the sweetened water, into my tomato paste. Got this over about medium heat. It's not very hot yet. The heat is just going to help all these flavors that we're going to add come together. Alright, now that it's about smooth, almost smooth, I'm going to add in 1 teaspoon of rice wine vinegar and half a teaspoon of onion salt. This smells wonderful. I wish you could smell this. That's great. Now I'm just going to heat this up to a bare simmer and then turn it off the heat and let it cool to room temperature. Once it's cooled, you can just pour it into a squeeze bottle and treat it like you would any other ketchup. Now most ketchups come in at about 4 carbs for a tablespoon. Ours is closer to 2, so by doing it yourself you can cut it in half. Not only that, because you make it yourself, you can control the spices. Want it sweeter? Add more Splenda. Want it tangier? Add more vinegar. Want it saltier? Add onion salt. By making it yourself, you can customize it and make it the best darn ketchup you've ever had. Now this ketchup is good, but it's not done yet, because what we're going to do is we're going to turn this into barbecue sauce. Started just like last time. I used a 6-ounce can of tomato paste, and in this time I used 2 tablespoons of Splenda rather than 1 and poured that in with the water. Now I'm going to add a whole tablespoon of vinegar this time, a teaspoon of the onion salt, a 1/4 teaspoon of cayenne pepper for some kick, 1 large clove of crushed garlic, there we go, and for that extra special something, I'm going to add in a half a teaspoon of caramel color. Now what this mostly is, I will admit, it's caramelized sugar, but it's done in such a way as to kind of help reduce the carb counts. There's actually only about 1 carb in this half a teaspoon. And it's going to help give it some of the barbecue color that we are used to associating with barbecue sauce. It's going to give it a little bit of flavor too, a little bit of that molassesy flavor that we can't get from molasses. Well, that's good. It's always a good idea at this point to stop, taste your barbecue sauce, see if it's what you want. You might want, a little bit more sweetness. You might want a little more tang. Always taste it and adjust it to your tastes. Now obviously the best bun solution is going to be no bun at all. However, it's not always practical when walking around a cookout with a plate in one hand and only one hand to eat with to use a knife and fork. So I'm going to show you my bun substitutions in the order that I prefer them. Now our first solution is, of course, lettuce leaves. I've got 2 lettuce leaves here, nice big ones from kind of the outside of the head. And I can just put my hamburger right on in there. Add my condiments. A little bit of my ketchup here. Woo! Maybe a touch of mustard. And a pickle or 2. Yum. Now, one of the plus sides about lettuce is that it adds relatively few carbs. However, by the time you've added your condiments in there, it can get very slippery. It also has more of a tendency to let any of the juices from the hamburger kind of run out and go everywhere. However, it will more or less keep your hands clean. You just fold it over. Voila! Hamburger sandwich. Solution 2 is a slice of low-carb bread. Pepper Farm makes a good one. That's what this is. And voila! A nice little hot dog bun for only 5 carbs. The drawback is this doesn't work nearly as good for hamburgers. It's a lot softer and the juices from the hamburgers are generally going to make it a little soggy. And of course you would need 2. And if you're resigned to using 10 carbs anyway for your bun, I've got another solution for you. Solution number 3, a large low-carb tortilla shell. All you got to do is take it, fold it over, and bring in the ends. Voila, a little pocket sandwich for your hamburger. One of the good things about this solution, even though it is more carbs, is that you can easily do a double or even a triple in here as well. And here's our yummy looking chicken, smeared with our own fabulous barbecue sauce. That's good. Well, I hope you feel better armed to face the summer cookout season. Now, it's always a good idea if you're going to somebody else's cookout to ask what they're going to be serving. Just be enthusiastic about it and say, oh, what are we going to have? And most people will happily enthuse about all the wonderful things they're planning to serve. Now, if there is, it doesn't sound like there's anything that you're going to be able to eat there, feel free to ask if you can bring something specific. Say, oh, a pasta salad that you can then make with a low-carb pasta. Something, you know, that everybody will enjoy, not just the low-carbers. Well, for this recipe and many others, please visit our website, kitchentableproductions.net. I'm Jessica Bevort, and this has been Kitchen Table Productions.